Switch directions. It's funny that you're all at a different angle from where the screen is, because I'm only looking at it out of the corner of my eye, and maybe it's feeling neglected. That's why it's collapsing. Release your toes. Cradle your legs. Make circles with your legs. Can a laptop or a Zoom application get jealous? Feel neglected? I didn't think so.
Not yet.
I didn't think so.
Not
yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Was that movie with Joaquin Phoenix? Her falls in love with this Siri. Switch direction. This AI. It's a good movie. It's an odd.
I stopped watching it. Like I started watching it.
Uh-huh.
Like I can't watch it.
In some ways, it's really too close to home. It's like, ooh, yeah, we are like that, aren't we?
Again, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Never fall in love with the package software.
I
Like
came
that,
into
like
this
that.
world for the physical experience.
Right. Maybe reground, rearrange. Inhale, draw your heart forward, let your head tip back. Exhale, draw your heart back, let your head tip forward. Just follow your breath. You don't have to breathe at my pace. I tend to have longer breaths than most folks, but maybe yours are longer, maybe they're shorter. Many moons ago, I used to play brass instruments, probably the beginning of increased lung capacity. Yoga has certainly helped. After your next exhale, sit up tall. We'll take some side bends and some twists. Reach your arms to the sides. Rest just your fingertips on the ground so you stay long in your spine. Inhale, reach your right arm up alongside your ear. Exhale, reach to the left. Feel for length from your right hip up through your right fingertips. At my going away party in Boston before I moved here, a fellow yoga teacher, we were talking about breathing. And she said to me, yeah, Leo, you take some long ass breaths. All this time, you never told me, Lisa. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come into a twist. Right hand behind you, left hand to your right leg. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, twist some more. Come back through center. Inhale, lift your left arm. Exhale, reach to the right. Speaking of those breaths, when I say inhale, do this, exhale, do that, if you need a breath in between my inhale and my exhale, have another breath. Don't stop breathing to stick with the cueing. The cues are just suggestions too, just like any other cue. Inhale, come up. Exhale, let the left hand come to the ground behind you, the right hand to your left leg. Inhale to lengthen up. Exhale to twist some more.
If I wanted a pool hall.
Say again?
Unless you're being hit by one in a pool hall.
Come on, back to center. Necks can be stiff in the morning. Let's roll the neck out, let your chin come towards your chest. Very slowly, roll your ear towards your shoulder, and let your head tip back. Just continue in slow, gentle circles. How slow can you go? If you find a tight spot, you might pause at the tight spot and rock back and forth over it. Maybe untie a knot here and there. Finish the next circle, change direction. Practice, we try to spend about the same amount of time on each side or each direction. Something we often don't do in our regular day-to-day activity. I became conscious of this last year in playing with the dogs, throwing tennis balls for the dogs. And I'm right-handed, so I was wearing out my right arm. And I deliberately started to throw with my left arm. For a while, all the time, and now I alternate, and lo and behold, I can throw pretty accurately left-handed now. You finish the next circle, lift your chest. Let's come up onto our hands and knees. You might shift forward, you might shift sideways, however you want to get there. Bring your hips above your knees, shoulders above your wrists or behind your wrists if it's too much on your wrists to have your shoulders right above them. Reach back with your right foot, press the ball of your foot against the ground. With an inhale, pick that foot up, reach straight back in the air through the sole of your foot. With your next inhale, reach your left arm to the side. Bend your knee, reach back. If you can take hold of your foot or ankle or pant leg, kick against your hand, raise your knee and your chin. Release, lower down. Inhale, bring your heart forward, let your head and tailbone go up. Exhale, bring your heart up, let your head and tailbone come down. Take a few more breaths. Some people like to breathe that the opposite way. If that's you, feel free. When I'm taking a class and the teacher cues this for the exhale and this for the inhale, I always try it that way, and then I revert to the other way, finding that I still prefer it. After your next exhale, come back to table. Reach back and press into the ball of your left foot for a couple of breaths. With an inhale, pick your foot up and reach straight back. With the next inhale, reach your right arm to the side. Bend your knee, reach back, see about that bind. Opening your shoulder and midline and stretching your quads. Release, lower down. Take a few breaths with cow pose, cat pose again. Then let's start to stand. Step your left foot up between your hands. You could have blocks under your hands to ease the transition if you like. Step the right foot up as well. Hang out in your forward fold, bending one leg then the other, swaying back and forth. Hands might hang in the air or drag on the ground. Clasp the elbows or interlace your fingers at the base of your skull for some neck traction. Let your hands hang down if they're doing something else. Inhale, lift up halfway, hands to the front of your shins. Press against your legs. Feel the crown of your head move forward away from your tailbone. With an exhale, relax down. Inhale, roll to standing, hands overhead, palms together. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Let your hands down at your sides. Raise your right shoulder towards your ear. Shift it back. Let it down. And your left shoulder up, back, and down. Inhale, spread your wings. Exhale, you can come to eagle arms or reach for your shoulder blades and hug yourself. Move your elbows and hands up and forward. I had a feeling we'd all do eagle, and no one's on screen. Okay. Inhale, open. Exhale, cross the other way. Inhale to open. Exhale to let your arms down. Inhale out and up. Take hold of your left wrist with your right thumb and forefinger. Inhale. Exhale, bend to the right. Inhale to come up. Switch the grips of the other wrist. Exhale, bend to the left. Inhale to come up. Exhale, arms down. Inhale out and up again. This time interlace your fingers. Flip your palms up. Look up at your hands. Lift up your heart depending on how your back feels. Maybe your hips drift forward. Maybe your head and your hands drift back some more. With an inhale, come upright. Exhale, let your arms come down. Now let's start our sun salutations after this sip of water. I say it time and again, well, this is my last time out here. It's wonderful this time of year how quickly it warms up in the morning. Yeah, perfect temperature. Inhale out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, full. Step back to plank. You let your knees down anytime we're in plank. If a shorter plank is better for you. Let your hips come down in line with your knees and shoulders, where the knees are up or down. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Keep your elbows in close as you come down. Press into your hands. Inhale, lift your head and chest. Maybe just a really low cobra. Just listen to your lower back. Go as high as you want. Exhaling, rock back, up onto your hands and knees. Curl your toes under. Press into your feet to lift your knees. Press into your hands to lift your tail. Downward facing dog. Let's walk the dog. Do some pedaling, the feet and legs. Letting the heels get closer to the ground. Lengthening all throughout the back of the body. Eventually find some stillness for a breath or two. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step your feet up to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, come down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale up. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, down. Step back to plank. When you're ready, on an exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale to bring your heart forward. Exhale, back and up. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, down. Step back to your plank. On an exhale, lower. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, back and up. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do two more. One slow with extra breaths interspaced all throughout, and the other one after that quicker. Inhale, up. Exhale here. Inhale here. Exhale, fold. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale here. Inhale here. Exhale, fold. Inhale here. Exhale here. Step back to plank. Take at least one nice full breath in your plank. And then, real challenging one if you like. Exhale, lower halfway if you can. Inhale here. Exhale here. If you can't, drop your knees. Inhale, bring your heart forward. Exhale here. Inhale here. Exhale, back and up. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, come forward. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale here. Inhale here. Exhale, fold. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale all the way up. Exhale here. Inhale here. Exhale, hands to heart. And take a full breath. Follow that with a quicker one. It's an invigorating combination. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale down. Step back to your plank when you're ready. Exhale, lower. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, back and up. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Drop your hands to your sides. Close your eyes if you like. Just observe what's going on in your body. Feeling that increased energy level, you just turn that dial up. Taking in the swaying of the breath, the grounding of your feet, the sun shining on you. Let your eyes open if they're closed. I'm gonna have a sip of my water. We're gonna work into a low lunge, a runner's lunge, and then a straddle fold. So straddle fold is where the legs are like this and the hands are down here. So if you know you need blocks for that and you haven't grabbed blocks here, we have blocks over here. I'll be bringing my blocks into play. Most people use blocks for straddle fold, but not everyone. I'm gonna just place my blocks here. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands on the ground or your blocks. Step your right foot back. Runner's lunge. So we're going to do a 90-degree pivot to go from the runner's lunge to the straddle fold. So going 90 degrees to your right, walk your hands over, let your feet pivot, let your knees stay soft, some degree of bend in the knees. Toes can go out, heels can come in. Feel into your legs and feet, and you decide how far apart your feet go. How does it feel in the legs? How does it feel in your low back? Now, we're going to explore the fold. It'll be different for everybody. Let those knees stay soft. You might keep the blocks where they are. You might tip them lower, or you might leave the blocks and grab the ground. Let your head be heavy. Let your neck disengage. Walk your hands back. If you want, you might turn your hands at 180 degrees so your fingers point back. And you might walk back further, whether you turned your hands around or not. You could have blocks under your hands this whole time. Just breathe length into the back of your body. And slowly, let's walk the hands forward. If you turn them around, you can turn them forward again and keep coming forward. Now, I'm not going to do it here today. A lot of people will use this to start to work towards a tripod headstand. I'm not going to do it, but if that's in your practice, go ahead. We're just going to do some twists here. You might use blocks or not. I don't seem to need it right now today, but maybe you do. Bring the right hand under your face and lean into it. Inhale, reach your left arm out and up and look up towards your hand. Oh, that feels good. Exhale, bring that hand down, plant it beneath your face. Inhale, reach the other arm out and up and look up towards that hand. Exhale, bring your hand down. Now you decide what to do with your blocks. I'm going to grab mine just for the transition here. I'm going to pivot back 90 degrees to the left, come back to this lunge where we started. And we're going to switch to the other lunge. You might step back to down dog or step forward to forward fold so that you have your right foot forward, left foot back in a runner's lunge. And same deal. You're going to walk your hands 90 degrees to your left, let your feet pivot. Find the right space between the feet, toes out, heels in, knees soft. And generally, the second fold is easier. No rush, but it might just happen more quickly because it's the same fold you just did. So explore just as you did before, walking your hands back. If you like to turn them around, you could turn them again. Maybe you didn't turn them around the first time, but now you want to try. And keep walking back to whatever degree feels beneficial for you in the back of your body. Slowly bring your hands forward. If you spun them around, spin them again. Keep coming forward. Bring your left hand under your face. Lean into it. Inhale, reach your right arm out and up. And look up towards your hand. Exhaling, bring your hand down. Plant that hand below your face. Inhale, reach the left arm out and up. Look up towards your hand. Exhale, bring your hand down. And we're going to pivot back to the runner's lunge where we started here on this side. And then step that front foot to the back, downward facing dog. Nod your head. Shake your head. Take 3 cleansing breaths. Let your knees come down and make your way to child's pose. And vary it however you like. It can be active or passive. Focus on your breath, scan your body. Maybe check in with your intention. Inhale, slowly come forward and up through table. Take your time to make your way back and up to downward facing dog, just for a breath. And walk your hands back to your feet. Play with chair pose. Soft knees, heavy arms. Let your arms swing front to back like ropes. Let the knees be nice and bouncy. Let that swinging grow bigger. Let the weight of your arms pick up momentum. When you're ready, swing your arms up overhead, sit back to chair pose. Think of releasing down into the ground. And you sit a little lower. I always say that no matter how low you're sitting, because there's always a little more there. Reach your hands in under your arms. Reach them back behind you. Palms down. Take a breath. Reach in under your arms and out to the sides. Palms down and take a breath. Reach in under your arms. Back up again. Take a breath. Inhale. Lengthen up. Exhale. Arms down. Get a drink of water. A little more chair variation to come. Arms forward, parallel to the ground. Zombie chair or zombies freak you out, sleepwalker chair. Release front of your hips, back of your knees, front of your ankles. Inhale, open your arms, very good. Exhale, bring them forward. He read my mind. Johnny just did that before I said it. I'm not even sure I've ever done that here before. Inhale, straighten your legs. Exhale, arms down. Now this one I know I've done before. Arms forward again. You might call this drag chair, depending on what you usually wear. We're going to put our heels on. Lift your heels. And then, if you can, sit back to chair with the heels raised. And if you drop your heels, you drop your heels. Make sure you're breathing. Sometimes we're focusing so much we stop breathing, and it doesn't help. If you can, with the heels raised, lengthen up. Then with whatever control you can, put the heels down, and then the arms. Shake the legs. Good job. I don't wear heels that often, but I do that pretty regularly. I think it helps when I do wear heels. Oddly, I seem to be a natural in heels when I occasionally put them on. Not much trouble. Go fig. Hands at your heart. Shift your weight from one leg to the other with your feet planted. Trying to find a more even spot. I'm standing on this huge bump in the grass. Set your eyes on something that's not going to move to help steady yourself. And bring the weight into your right leg. Lift your left knee up. Like opening a door, bring your knee out to the side, open your hip. Bring your left foot to your right leg. Maybe kickstand foot with the toes on the ground. Maybe the sole of your foot on your calf or on your thigh. Let the knee track out to the side wherever the foot might be placed. And we can start over anytime. Your hands can stay here, pressing to the sternum, pressing to each other for steadiness. Or the branches of your tree can go anywhere you want. Haven't attempted tree in heels. I don't know if that's doable. I won't try it today. I'll try on my own before I bring that to a class. If your hands are elsewhere, bring them back to your heart. Bring your knee forward, let your foot down, shake things out. When you're ready, hands at your heart. Shift back and forth. Reset your eyes. Whenever you're ready, drop the weight to your left leg. Let that knee stay soft and responsive. Raise your right knee. Open the gate of your hip. And bring your foot to your leg. Find your arm expression. Maybe it's the same, maybe it's different. Maybe you fall, maybe you don't. If you fall, you're human. If you get up, you're a yogi. Happy fun fact, the kind of leggings you wear can affect whether your foot stays put or not. These are my fanciest ones, but the texture makes it hard to keep my foot on my thigh. Yeah, well, the brand is called Booty by Brightmans, so they're made to make your hiney look nice. It's a former NFL cheerleader that started a line of clothing, fitness products. Bring your hands back to your heart. Bring your knee forward. Let your foot down. Shake, shake, shake. Let's play with one more standing balance pose. We'll play with Warrior 3. You might use blocks for this. Good stand blocks up, shoulder width apart on the tall setting. You don't have to use blocks. Different ways to come into it. A real gentle way is to just start with your hands on your blocks and then lift your leg up parallel to the ground, reach back through the sole of your foot. Another way is to come to a high lunge. All 10 toes pointing forward so the knee moves in a safe and stable direction. And you pop up onto the front foot. I never know how many bounces this is going to take until I'm doing it, but let the weight of the torso help raise the leg. Think of making a footprint with that raised foot. And anytime I can come down and grab these blocks, maybe I use them a little, maybe I use them a lot, or maybe you don't need them. You could press your hands to your sternum for steadiness. You could explore reaching back or to the sides or reaching forward. Let the standing knee remain responsive, soft. Don't want a locked leg. Let it be bouncy, like a nice shock absorber. You might even play with binds, depending on how steady you feel. Maybe you find one variation and stick with it, or maybe you just keep exploring. Make sure you're breathing though. Exhale, lower the leg. Inhale, slowly stand. And shake it as needed before we do the other side. And maybe you come in the same way, or maybe you try a different way. I've always been partial to the lunge. I like coming in like this. Make your way to your other Warrior 3 however you want. It's definitely trickier on grass. Nothing like a nice hardwood floor for these standing on one leg balance. It's really tricky on sand or snow, I'll tell you. Or on a moving platform, like a paddleboard, or a suspended sunbed, or a raft. Trying to do some poses on a floating raft off the beach in Cozumel. And it was fun until, upon crashing, I banged my knee on a rock when I landed in the water. When you're ready, exhale, lower your foot. Inhale, slowly stand. Shake things out. Did we have a drive-by visit from a doggy? Let's come down and have a seat. Only once did I have a dog actually join me on camera in the early days of doing these classes out here. It was right about this time. I'm standing around for her now. Okay. It was right after I sat down. This dog came running up one time. Extend your legs forward and flex your feet back. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold down over your legs. If your knees want to bend, they can bend. When you inhale, think of the crown of your head reaching forward. When you exhale, think of lowering down some more. Try to let your breath do the work, exploring if the fold will go deeper. Resist using your arms to yank yourself further down. It's a different kind of release when you let the breath do it. Gentler. I think you have a better chance of finding the sufficient degree of release instead of forcing as much release as you possibly can. Backing away from this tendency we have to bigger, better, faster, more, maxing everything out. Inhale, slowly walk your hands up the front of your legs and sit yourself up. Let your arms nudge your legs apart to whatever degree feels okay for you and your leg today. Walk your hands down your legs as far as you can. Bring your left hand over by your right hand. Reach your right arm out to the side, turn your head to the right. Turn your thumb down. Reach for your left hip and draw your right shoulder back. Extend your arm. Bring your right hand back to your left hand. Bring your left hand over to the left leg or left foot. Bring your right hand over to join the left hand. Reach your left arm to the side. Turn your head to the left. Turn your thumb down. Reach the back of your hand towards your right hip. Draw your left shoulder back. Extend your arm. Bring your left hand back by your right hand. Bring your right hand back to the right side. Walk your hands up your legs and sit up. Nudge your legs towards each other. Bring the soles of your feet together with a big space between your pelvis and your heels. You're going to grab the mat. You might reach under your ankles. If that doesn't work for you, reach over your ankles. Either way, walk your hands forward on that mat. Traction in the arms. Let your neck disengage as you make the pretzel shape. Breathe into the middle of your lower back. Slowly walk your hands back, lift your torso upright. Keeping your feet together, bring them in as close as you can. And grab your feet in your hands. Wriggle on your seat. Let the bones in the seat get closer to the ground to tilt your pelvis forward. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Let the spine be long at first. See how far the long spine will go. And when the long spine's not lowering, let your head lower. Breathe into your hips. Inhale, slowly sit up. Use your arms to lift your knees towards each other. Rest your hands on the ground. Wiggle your feet out to the edges of your mat and let your knees go back and forth to whatever degree they will. A little tour of the space you opened in your hips here. We didn't do any deep hip work today, but we did some opening. We'll come down onto our backs. I'll spin around so my head is closer to you and you can hear me better. Come down onto your back. Cross your left knee over your right knee. Draw your knees towards your chest. And reach down and grab your feet in your hands and draw them towards you. Great stretch for outer hips, SI joint, piriformis. The seated version of this pose is not all that accessible for me, so I love this supine variation. When I sit with my legs crossed like this, I have a hard time keeping both sides of my seat on the ground. I usually have one cheek lifted off the ground. Can't seem to get my seat anchored and my legs crossed as much. Relax your arms. Let your right foot down, cross your legs the other way. Right knee over left knee. Draw your knees towards your chest. Reach down, find your feet. They're there somewhere. And then draw them towards you. Yes, you might have to lift your head to locate your feet. Maybe that's just me. Let your arms relax. Let your left foot down. Let your right foot down. Drop both knees in towards your chest. Reach your arms out to the sides. Let your legs fall to the right and turn your head to the left. Let your shoulders stay grounded. The closer your knees are to your chest, the deeper the twist feels. So you can regulate that sensation by moving your knees. Slowly bring your head and your knees back up through center and just let the movement continue. Legs go left, head goes right. Come on back up to center. Reach your feet towards the sky. Reach your hands up to grab your legs or your feet. Play with bending and straightening your arms and legs. If there's a different inversion you fancy, go ahead and invert however you want to. I mentioned headstands when we were doing our straddle fold, and it is my last class in the park. So I'm going to play a little headstand. So this is the one you can come into from the straddle fold. So many different ways you can explore being upside down, letting your legs and feet drain, letting the cerebrospinal fluid redistribute. There's this amazing thing called cranial respiration. You get more of that fluid to come up into your skull can actually expand. We think of our skull as like a hollow bone. It's actually made up of many different pieces of bone. And there's a little give along those seams. You get more cerebrospinal fluid into the skull, and the skull actually expands. Which is part of why a full inversion feels so fun. Invert for as long as you like, however many different ways you like. When you feel complete, make your way to Shavasana, final resting pose, which might be corpse pose, lying flat with your arms at your side and your feet splayed apart. Or maybe you opt for some other resting posture. Letting your breath get deeper and slower as your body accepts the support beneath it. Focusing maybe on your breath, maybe on an intention you set, maybe on something else, or maybe not on anything in particular. Give yourself some deeper breaths. Let yourself start to move around bit by bit. Allowing your movements to gradually grow bigger. Take your time. Whenever you're ready, there's no rush. Gently sit yourself up. Bring your hands up by your heart if you like. Thank you for sharing practice today. The light within me sees and honors the light within you. Namaste. And since our recording stopped and I had to start again, I'm Leo Bray on behalf of Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center in Palm Springs. Join us in Ruth Hardy Park 5 days a week. Join us on Zoom every day. Check out the schedule at urbanyoga.org or Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook. And you can also make contributions there electronically.